got the answer right here, ladies and gentlemen, to everything that ails you. Now step right up.
One who quacks like a duck about his salves and remedies. The cruel practice of making money on people's worries, feared throughout the years as quackery.
I said cured of backache, nervousness,
All right, folks. Welcome to Quackery. I'm here with the recently married John Boy. John, how does it feel to be married?
I'm married to Mrs. John Boy.
Ooh. I saw a meme I just sent to my dad tonight. It says, yeah, I couldn't get my wife's attention for anything. So I just made myself comfortable and looked like I was enjoying myself. And that did the trick.
Yeah, it feels good. How long have you been married? Like a couple years? 3 or 4 years? 7 years.
Yep, just recently, actually, a week ago. Yeah, man. So, yeah. All right, so this week on the Quackery, we are talking about wizard oil. It's magically quackalicious. Have you, now, John, have you heard of wizard oil before? You're a wizard, Harry.
I have not, dude.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people have heard of this stuff.
This.
But, I was looking at some different topics, and this one caught my eye for obvious reasons, I did a deep dive. That's a buzzword these days.
Where do you find this stuff, man?
I'm telling you, man. You got to be good.
Because you can't just type in, like, quackery snake oil and find wizard oil. That's just crazy,
you're not going to find that right off the bat. You're going to have to go into some weird websites.
You got to go on the dark web to find a wizard oil.
You have to go to the dark Wikipedia. The guys who originally came up with wizard oil, which is a badass name, I have to say. That's one of the things that drew me to this topic, were the Hamlin brothers. As you can imagine, the Hamlin brothers, as most of a lot of the quacks we talk about on this show, they weren't doctors at all. They were traveling magicians and entertainers, which is pretty sweet. What's your favorite movie about, like, magicians?
Probably the one with Wolverine in it.
Hell yeah, dude. The Prestige is so good.
Definitely.
It's
Christian Bale.
Damn good.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yes.
What is that called? The Illusionist?
Yeah.
No, that was the other one.
The Prestige.
The Prestige, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one where, like, Nikola Tesla makes him that machine that, like, clones him and he has to kill himself every night. That's deep shit, man. Spoiler alert. Cool movie. I like the magician stuff of that time period. It's kind of whimsical and awesome. So this is, around then, too. The brothers' names were John Austin and Lysander Hamlin. Lysander, awesome quack name.
Yeah.
For sure.
It almost sounds like some, like the soap you'll find in the bathroom, like a nice Lysander aroma.
A nice Lysander, like a lavender lye soap. Yeah, man. We should actually make some Lysander soap. He'd probably come back from the great... His ancestors probably would get us, though, for that. Anyway, so they were, like I said, magicians and entertainers, and they would travel around the country in, like, the big covered wagon, right? And they would do shows. They said they wore silk top hats and striped suits, and they performed as part of what was called medicine shows, right?
I've already told you before, like, I could see myself doing that, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, with the wagon and stuff.
You'd be good with the medicine shows. Dude,
Yeah.
I think they were awesome. They're obviously full of quackery. Okay, so here's what medicine shows are. So they're medicine shows, which are popular primarily between 1850 and 1930 in the U.S., were just basically traveling groups of entertainers put on performances while then also pitching dubious cures, elixirs, and other products that were like miracle cures and the like. If you look up actually medicine show, you will definitely find mention of wizard oil. Like, it was pretty much one of the main ones. It became actually really famous. But here's a quote from a medicine show. "How much is your health worth, ladies and gentlemen? It's priceless, isn't it? Well, my friends, $1.50 all it takes to put you in the pink." Wait, what? Anyway, that's right, ladies and gents. For 50 pennies, nature's true remedy will succeed where doctors have failed. Only nature can heal, and I have nature right here in this little bottle. My secret formula from God's own laboratory. The earth itself will cure rheumatism, cancer, diabetes, baldness, bad breath, and curvature of the spine.
Oh, my God.
That's not the wizard's oil. That was a nature's true remedy that was also from a medicine show, but that's just an example. It reminds me of in our intro, and
Yeah. You know, the medicine
that probably
shows,
was from a medicine show, right? I imagine.
Yeah, they still have medicine shows today. It's just called the Dr. Oz show.
The doctors, Dr. Oz. Yeah, no, those almost exactly right. They just don't sing and dance. They don't have to be. Yeah, they just don't have to be talented. They just can get up there and tell you, dude. Oh man, the people would come to my pharmacy and be like, "Doctor, I said I need to buy this Garcinia. Do you sell it?" And be like, "God dang, I just need to grab whatever. I need to start watching the show, whatever the hell he talks about. But just put it on the counter by the pharmacy because that's all I need." It's like now with this damn COVID. It's like we basically just need to put masks, gloves, thermometers, and hand sanitizer on the counter and be like, here they are. Yeah. I know you're going to ask. So initially, the Hamlin brothers were traveling around doing the medicine shows for other people, like hawking other people's stuff. And they're like, why the hell would we do this? This is stupid. We're doing all the work and they're selling the product and we're getting they're not paying us a lot. So they're like, well, shit, let's come up with something of our own. So since they were magicians, obviously they came out with wizards oil. And initially, in 1861 in Chicago, Illinois, they made their own medicine to peddle at the shows. So it was actually a liniment initially, and if you listen to the show, you know that a liniment is like a rub, like an icy hot or Aspercreme kind of thing. And so initially, it was only used for like rheumatic pain and sore muscles, or it should be like arthritis pain, joint pain, sore muscle. And their slogan was, there is no sore, it will not heal, no pain, it will not subdue. Sounds good. Bottles came in 35 cents and 75 cent sizes. So what they would do, they would run these different shows like 6 weeks in a town. So they were there a while. And it kind of reminds me, you ever seen that movie? You remember the movie like Heath Ledger died while filming it, and then was it Dr. Parnassus or something like that?
It was something like that, yeah. So
it was like that. They're in this big cart, and it opens up, and they do like magic and shows and shit like that. That's what it reminds me of. Or also, you remember? Did you watch that new one, the Ballad of Buster Scruggs or whatever?
I did, and because the guy from Oh Where Brother Where Art Thou?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, dude, I love that part. But dude, there's that weird part where there's the guy with no arms and legs, who's like performing and like they just travel him around, and the guy eventually throws him in the river and replaces him with a chicken. That is a weird movie. It's something else,
really
man.
Weird, dude.
The Coen brothers. Yeah. No, it's good. It's weird. I would check it out, if you guys like weird, good Western movies like that. But yeah, there's one that's basically like a medicine show that the guy travels around. That's the only reason I bring that up. But
because I know that was a big
Wizard
thing
of Oz
then.
was 1939, so they probably drew. Yeah, they definitely drew from that. Well, no, I wonder when the original, because the original books were before that. What was based off of it?
Yeah.
So that probably was like around the same time. Let me see. Wizard of Oz books.
Because just saying Wizard Oil, like that's what it makes me think of, like immediately. So Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. So it was published May 1900. So during the middle of all this stuff was going on. So it was all at the same time.
These images you find are quite amazing, man. I love these posters. I might make some of these like my background, like this medicine show poster. They should print these out, man. I would love to have this poster in my house, wouldn't you?
Which one? The medicine show posters.
The medicine one. Yeah, dude, we should get these printed out, man. And
I love
put
this
up
one
in the studio.
Yes, I love that, man. There's this one. I love this one. I put as the very first picture, Hamlin's Wizard Oil. There's an elephant drinking the stuff.
Yeah.
That's kind of we'll talk about the elephant, why there's an elephant on there later. But it's this awesome picture. It's got a bunch of people like, cures all pain in man or beast, and
these
best
are real
pain remedy on earth. These are real advertisements.
Yeah, real adverts.
They're really cool, man.
That's the thing.
I love
like,
them. Real
go
adverts.
to the website to check these out. These are quite amazing.
Yeah,
I'm surprised you find all
quackerypodcast.com.
this stuff.
Yeah, man. It's the most famous one was with Wizard Oil. Here is the one where it's like old man is leaning over and he's like, "Oh, excellent." He looks like Mr. not Smithers, but Mr. What's his name off The Simpsons? Dude, I can't come up with any names tonight.
What? Mr. Burns?
Burns.
Mr.
Yeah,
Burns.
He looks like an old Mr.
Yeah.
Burns, and his wife's like smooching, and she's feeding him the Wizard Oil. And I was thinking of in the Oz the Great and Powerful, James Franco, which ties back into Buster Scruggs. He was in that. He's the one who's like gets hung or whatever, and he's like first time. But anyway, he's Oz the Great and Powerful, and he's basically like a medicine show magician, exactly like this. You know, it was around that same time period they wrote that, you know, the original Wizard of Oz, so perfect. Yeah, but just a little explanation on their show, the Hamlin show. Like I said, they would dress up in like, you know, crazy top hats, frock coats, pinstripe trousers, patent leather shoes with spats, which are like the things that go up your legs. You know, it's the whole deal. So one interesting thing that they did is that they distributed songbooks with Wizard Oil, like adverts, like you said, all in it. So like the front would say Wizard Oil, and it would say Wizard Oil Songbook. There's a picture here of one of them. It's called Humorous and Sentimental Songs as Sung Throughout the United States by Hamlin's Wizard Oil and Their Concert Troops. Open air advertising concerts. These are cool, man. There's one here that's autographed I found a picture of. You can check it out on quackerypodcast.com. It's like the some of the performers in the show signed it for someone and they kept it. But so they would distribute those songbooks at the performances and at the local pharmacies, you know, all the little, you know, 5 and dime general, you know, stores, all that kind of stuff. So people like to keep it because it had these songs that they wanted, you know, you go sit down and, you know, people sing songs, you know, people didn't have Netflix then, John. Okay, they have to do something. So they were singing all the time. Yeah. Which now sounds like what people in a cult do. But, you know, people just like to sing back then.
It's almost like they're really good marketers. You know, they created a brand. You know, snake oil, like, that was just like a natural thing. Like you said, the Chinese came up with the snake oil. They've always been using it. But these guys created Wizard Oil. It's like their thing, you know? Yeah. And they were branding it.
Yeah, just because they were like magicians. And so it was like, oh, this is magical
crazy,
stuff.
Man.
So, but the reason that it got so big was the show got really popular. So they started getting big performers. I don't know who these people are because they're really old. James Whitcomb Riley, singer and composer Paul Dresser, Southern gospel music singer Charles Davis Tillman. Like I said, it started to get very popular. They were selling more and more. And they said even Carl Sandburg, have you heard of him? 3-time Pulitzer Prize winner, Carl Sandburg.
Did you talk about him on the show? Okay, I haven't heard of him then.
No, yeah. No,
it sounds familiar.
He kind of did a little bit of everything. He was a poet, he was a composer, he was kind of, you know, he would write biographies. He did all these different, you know, he's very, very famous guy. Like I said, won 3 Pulitzer Prizes. And he inserted 2 versions of Wizard Oil songs into his American song bag, like, with group of songs. So, like, 2 songs about Wizard Oil were in his 1927 compilation of songs about America. So, like, it was a big thing in that time period. So, you remember I said that it was a rub, right?
Yeah.
Well, the old Hamlin boys said, you know what? We could sell a lot more of this if we told people they could drink it.
No way.
What do you think they did? They said, well, I think we need to tell people that it will cure other things like ulcers, headache, pneumonia, earache, toothache, diphtheria, lame back, sprains, bruises, corns, cramps, cholera, colic, diarrhea, inflammation, neuralgia, and cancer.
Oh my God. Are you going to get into this? But what was in it?
Yeah,
like,
no, I'm going to wait because it's kind of dramatic. The whole... They said some of the things that were in it, but not everything.
Okay, gotcha.
And so...
It's proprietary.
They're hiding behind those proprietary blends, baby. But as you can imagine, the turn of the century brought about an interesting change for these kind of people. And you can imagine some things had to come to light, and it changed a few things. So... to treat those kind of things, You're not going to be able to rub it on, to treat pneumonia. You're not going to be able to rub it on your lungs, right? You're going to have to drink it. So they said, oh, it's good to drink. It's perfectly safe. So, hey, from there, it really took off because people were already using it. Like, basically, they said if you looked in anybody's medicine cabinet in the late 1800s, early 1900s, they probably had some wizard oil. Like, it was big time. And then they started saying, well, not only do people need to get it, but your livestock too. Horses, cows, and then, like I said, the poster we'll put up on quackerypodcast.com. It has a circus elephant like raised up on his back legs with his trunk, and he's pouring it in his mouth, and someone's writing, Hamlin's Wizard Oil, cure for men and beast. It's, man, I could get that one put up, man. Hell yeah. Oh so that's really cool. So lo and behold, they became millionaires, John. Millionaires.
Wow, back then, holy shit.
Yes, and I'll get into how much money that would be. So they started making so much damn money that they decided, we're getting out of the showbiz business at all. We're going to move back to Chicago and let all these other, idiots peddle our stuff while we just start churning it out like crazy here in Chicago. So they didn't have to sing for their supper anymore, so to speak. After a couple more decades, it was so big, like I said, they became millionaires. And John Austin Hamlin, the older brother, the one who really had the most to do with it, not Lysander, he used the profits to found and manage Chicago's Grand Opera House.
What?
Yeah.
That's like a big
hell
thing.
Yeah. Big time. So here goes to show what money does to the perception of people. I'm going to put this up on quackerypodcast.com. This is a clipping from 1908, which is when that he died. John Austin Hamlin died in 1908. And this clipping says, Grand Opera House founder is dead. Old theater man is dead. John A. Hamlin, founder of the Grand Opera House, succumbs. Long career in Chicago. Came of family of doctors and was a maker of wizard oil. He did not have any doctor. They put that in the paper.
What?
That's fake news, bro.
Did he ever claim he was a doctor?
Now that I didn't know, I don't know, but like they obviously weren't. They were traveling magicians.
That's crazy.
Who made it to the big time. That's what we're looking to do, man. Get some legitimacy. Just build it and build it. Build our So
holy Jesus.
And actually they said like it was kind of a fortuitous time. If you're gonna die, he died 2 years after 1906. And as we all know, thanks to Clark Stanley, Pure Food and Drug Act and the FDA came cracking down on quackery in 1906. But before we get into what happened to their wizard oil, let's look at the conversion rate. So how much do you think a dollar it would be worth from 1900 to 2020? How many times more?
I'm just going to say 10.
30 times.
30 times.
So he was at least, they at least had made $30 million.
$30 million.
Off of this, but they said they were millionaires, so they could have had a lot more than that.
I wonder if anyone also, like, had a knockoff brand that said it was wizard oil and just kind of wrote off their success, You know what I'm saying? Like, this is real wizard oil too.
Yes, there are. I will get into that.
Nice.
Quick side note here. My wife is actually looking up some of her like ancestors, like great, ancestors from one side of her family. I can't remember what it was. And she found out, she were like, holy shit, they were worth $50 million. And I said, wait, what year was that? She said, right around 1900. I said, they were worth $500 million?
God. Did
I was like, where's the money? No, it's all gone.
We're using like hand-me-down microphones on this podcast just to let you guys know. We could have
been, we're inherit, we're descendants of
Will can't
half
afford
$1
to get
billion. That's right, man. That's right. Can't get the
crazy,
haircut.
Man.
Isn't that interesting? That's always cool to learn that kind of stuff. Not that I am entitled to a cent of that money, but it's interesting, All right, so basically, so far in this story, you would say, this is just a damn all-American success story. Like, this is what they write books about, right? So where's the quackery? other than that they said you could now drink it and it cured cancer. So 1916, so it actually took 10 years for the FDA to get on their ass, and poor Lawrence B. Hamlin, son of Lysander Hamlin, he was personally fined for false advertising, publicly published the ingredients of his liniment that he was telling people they could drink. Now, here's another advertisement here. They started also making other products. Here's a nice advertisement. It says, Hamlin's Wizard Oil. I'll put it up on quackerypodcast.com. The great medical wonder. There's no sore it will not heal, no pain it will not subdue. And then they also have Hamlin's Cough Balm, or Balsam. Pleasant to taste, magical in its effects. Hamlin's Blood and Liver Pills for liver complaint or constipation. And also disorders of stomach and digestive organs. So they just started putting out all sorts of quackery shit because Lawrence B. Hamlin's dad, Lysander, and his brother, they had pretty good success with Wizard Oil. He was like, man, let's make everything. Hamlin's everything. Interestingly enough, though, the FDA did admit that if the Hamlin boys would have just left it as a liniment, they probably wouldn't have gotten in trouble at all. And we'll see, based on what the ingredients are, it's pretty similar to some rubs nowadays. There's some other things in there that probably are not great, but they're not really that dangerous if it's topical. So I looked up the suit in 1916 that they were called under, and there were four main points that they wanted to bring up. Obviously, number one, cancer. Yeah. They said that and these are all quotes from like different boxes of Wizard's Oil. This one says, Hamlin's Wizard Oil will check the growth and permanently cure a cancer if treatment is begun in the early stages of its development and faithfully continued for a long enough period of time. God, we have knowledge of a number of permanent cures of cancer by the use of Hamlin's Wizard Oil. And then it would list a testimony from someone. Now, here's where they messed up. Some advice here for you aspiring quack doctors. You can do this, but you can't say yourself that it does this. You have to let your testimonials from people say it. So if you let your customers tell your other customers what these things do, that's legal.
Oh, crazy. What about fake testimonials, though?
Well, that's an interesting subject. I don't, how do you prove it? Like, if it was like, Quackery's Quackle, and it's like, there's a guy named Lil P saying, this stuff, man, got rid of my third testicle. I swear, it works great. And then it's like, wait a minute, is Little P not one of the owners? No, that's Big P.
Holy shit.
So that is a good question. I don't know how they did, it's like leaving yourself, you get 100 different emails and you give yourself 100 different, good reviews on Apple. Yeah. That's why we have 10, positive reviews, because they're all from me.
No, you got 19.
Whoa!
That's
but
good,
with comments. Hell yeah, man. No. Yeah. Check it out. If you guys listen on Apple Podcasts, rate and review us. We appreciate it.
Yes, please.
It makes a big difference. Even though apparently the whole gosh darn podcasting world's selling out to Spotify. Spotify, if you're listening, will easily go for 10 mil. And that's nothing in today's economy. I mean, as you know, that's not even $1 million in 1900. So,
we'll probably we'll probably even go for some free toilet paper,
We probably would go for one of those bidets, those special bidets, even though I don't use them. Hydrophobia can be positively prevented by promptly washing out the bite with Hamlin's Wizard Oil. So,
wait, what's hydrophobia?
So hydrophobia is fear of water, which is one of the symptoms of rabies. So what they're saying is, if you get bit by a rabid animal and you wash out your bite immediately with Wizard Oil, then you're not going to get afraid of water because you're not going to catch rabies. Here's what's crazy. I watched, season 3 of The Office, episode 1. It's called the Michael Scott's Fun Run for the Cure. So Meredith catches rabies or contracts rabies or whatever. And so he does a run about it, and he's like running, and he's like, come on, Michael, you got to drink water when you're on this run. And he's like, no, rabies causes a fear of water. And they're like, that's irrational. It's like, An irrational fear of water from rabies is a terrible thing. And he just running. I'm like, he just made that shit up. And then later I found out it's true. Like, what the hell? That's why the foaming at the mouth. You know? That's all. You know, think about that. They don't drink water. They're getting all like thirsty and it's like bubbling and.
Oh wow, that just blew my mind, man. That's crazy.
It made me sad because I thought about Old Yeller.
Ugh.
Damn it. I'm such a Debbie Downer. Wah, wah, wah. Also, pneumonia can be positively prevented by prompt treatment, the same as cold on lungs. I guess they mean a cold, like a chest cold. If neglected until developed, pneumonia requires the immediate attention of a physician.
No, yeah, of course.
See, that's a good disclaimer. They probably, actually, I'll get into this. They won that part. A tumor, although not as dangerous and more easily cured than a cancer, should be removed by a surgeon. Relief can be attained and a cure effected by using wizard oil, the same as for cancer, if treatment has begun before a tumor has had time to develop. They were sued. One of the things was they had to explain their claims, and the other was they had to say what was in it. So
it reminds me of Dr. Oz, man, going before Congress or wherever,
exactly.
And trying to explain his shit. It's the same thing, man.
Okay, so what's in this stuff? 65% alcohol, pretty strong.
Yeah.
Pretty damn strong stuff. Camphor, thyme, oil, fir oil, which would be like a fir tree oil, capsaicin. So those sound pretty good so far, right? And then sassafras oil. So at the time they thought sassafras oil was great. No, you should. It's hot pepper. So, I mean, you can. Just probably not good. It's like having a lot of hot sauce, or something.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to irritate your stomach for sure. Sassafras oil. So we thought sassafras was good for a bunch of stuff. Sassafras tea was very popular. They actually found that in enough of it, it's actually a known carcinogen if you consume enough of it. Interesting, and I didn't know about that until this episode. Also, ammonia, chloroform.
Oh my God.
Turpentine and formaldehyde.
Turpentine? Formaldehyde? Isn't that what they embalm dead people with?
Yes. Chloroform, which we did.
Where are they even getting these ingredients?
Dude, it took a dark turn, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, actually, when I was looking at this, I was like, wait, turpentine? What the? Does anybody drink this? I actually found out there's this one celebrity who thinks, like, by drinking a little bit of turpentine, kind of like the the miracle mineral solution or whatever, like you can stay healthy forever. And the thing on there says, "Do not try this." Isn't
it? That's like kerosene or almost or something.
It's like wood oil, so it's like it's like something like that. Yeah, it's like a kerosene, but it's from natural, like from wood. That's I didn't look into it further, but that's what it is. Yeah, I just assumed that people would know that turpentine, chloroform, and formaldehyde are not to be drunk unless you're looking for a good time.
Yeah.
No, don't, ladies and gentlemen, don't drink it. Just drink that 65% alcohol. You can put some fir oil in there, that's basically gin. That's basically what I'm drinking.
Yeah.
A little fir oil and a little alcohol. A little, you know what I really like? This is off topic here. Have you ever had those Fever Tree tonics? I don't have one tonight because this is quarantine. I'm broke. So they're really fancy, like mixers.
No,
and there's this one that's elderberry flower tonic, and it is delicious.
Oh wow! So
what was the penalty for these guys? They made millions of dollars, which would be like tens of millions of dollars now. Close to 30 to 50 million, something like that. So they pled guilty to the charges of misbranding for cancer claims only, and to reveal what was in it. So how much do you think they had to pay? You've heard some things on here before, like Clark Stanley.
Oh, so it's a low number? I don't know, like 15,000 maybe, 20,000?
$200.
200 plus
$200
court costs,
which would be like nothing. Yeah, 200 plus court costs, which is not very much. Like 200 was probably more than what the court costs were. But I mean, that'd be $600, So they got out of there for less than $1,000 basically nowadays, and they made over 30 million.
Oh my Lord!
You gotta love it, man. Basically, it's the theory that it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission, right? Just go for it, man. If there's no strict law that you can't do it, then do it. I don't know if that's the best advice for our listeners.
Can I ask one question about, because we mentioned proprietary blends earlier?
Ooh, yeah.
So obviously you can't put turpentine in your concoctions today. So do you have to, if you have a proprietary blend, do you have to like get it approved by the FDA at first, or can you just add whatever the hell you want?
Well, it has to be safe, and it has to be what is on the label. That's like the Pure Food and Drug Act. But supplements are so shady, man.
Yeah, because some supplements don't have the ingredients. They just say proprietary blend.
So the proprietary blend, I believe that they have to tell the FDA what's in it, but so it's not on the bottle. So you might have to go to their website to see what's in the proprietary blend. And even so, they may say, I think it's some of those where they say, oh, it's such a secret formula that we've told the FDA, but then they say that it's safe, but no, we don't want anyone else to know, so they can't copy it.
But they're not putting turpentine or shit in there.
No, they can't do that.
Okay, good.
Well, they can't officially do that. You know, they find out there are some, like, mostly filler. They like to just put less of what they say in stuff because that's not regulated really.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we'll definitely do a supplement. I know we got so many to do, man. You would think like, oh, Quackery, they're going to fizzle out after 20 episodes. I'm like, man, there's like 10 times as many things as I thought there were. And we've already done 20,
Yeah.
So we're here to stay, guys. All right.
No, don't fizzle out. This is how I get all of my information.
Building, man. This is building. Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't go to the doctor anymore. I just listen to the Quackery podcast.
So, our usual disclaimer, please do not take this podcast as medical advice in any way. This is a comedy show, just meant to laugh and learn a little bit about old medicine and have a good time, drink some drinks, and don't take this as actual medical advice. If you need to talk to your doctor, talk to them. Don't listen to us.
I mean, don't listen to me, especially.
Listen to us, but don't take it as like official diagnosis or anything like that. Just fun learning about old, crazy medicine. Here's the thing, though. Once the ingredients of Hamlin's Wizard Oil came out, basically once they found out that turpentine and chloroform, formaldehyde were in it, in the sort of going into the 1920s, 1930s, it started to get less and less popular. And eventually they went out of business. They sold out, that was it. But that did not stop other people from copying their success at different points in the career. So here's a gentleman here. I like this guy a lot. His name is Frank Weston. And he basically just said, well, shit, these guys are doing a hell of a good job here in America. I'm just going to take exactly what they made, or just, the ingredients they list, go to Australia and do exactly what they did. So he does.
Nice.
He calls himself the Wizard Oil Prince, Frank Weston. Nice. And between 1860 and 1880, he sold his Wizard Oil, Frank Weston's Wizard Oil, and he did it with a theatrical company from Melbourne, Australia, and they would travel around Australia and New Zealand. And they said everything he did was infused with a Yankee genius for self-promotion. Like, basically, all us Americans are, good shit talkers and bullshitters and, good salesmen.
Nice.
I think that's kind of all over the world they are, but that was smart, man.
Yeah.
And he did the same stuff. He would do the booklet. He called it the Frank Weston Australian Companion. But he actually put more stuff in there than just the songs. He had recipes for food. He had information about how to take care of livestock, all sorts of things. What? It was like a compendium, a companion, obviously.
Nice.
And so he would just advertise his shit in there and pass those out at all his shows. So people would keep these because they were valuable information. Like, they don't have like Wikipedia or any access like that. So it was good, it was good to have that. And it would, every time they open it, it says, the Wizard Oil. That's like free, not free advertising, but cheap advertising and effective.
I wonder if he had like a mail-in order business. Yeah.
Ooh, probably so.
That's cool. Yeah.
Like, you remember in those old comic books, they'll have like in the back, it's all the weird, like, mail-in shit. Be like, oh, do you want a bigger penis? Why don't you just call in? We got this for you. These pills work like a charm.
Yeah.
Only 50 cents.
Yeah, I still place a lot of those ads, actually.
Place the ads or the orders? Or both?
Both. I'm trying to see what my competitors are doing, so I'll place the order and then the ad.
If the penis mightier really works, I'll take a dozen.
But I only sell the Mega Hants underwear, though. That's all I sell nowadays.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna. It's Quackery's Mega Hants, where you have the cock ring and the magnet, so it works like,
Yeah, it's a proprietary.
It's a proprietary blend, trademarked. So he took it a little bit further. I couldn't find out how much money he made off of this. I think he did pretty well. But he also made, in addition to Wizard Oil, he made Weston's Magic Pills and Mexican Mustang liniment.
What?
I don't know.
It's got a cool ring to it, though. Mexican Mustang. I love that.
Ooh, my cheeks are getting all rosy from this nipatates.
It's
treat me right. So all right, so this is probably my favorite. I thought the magic is cool, but this is badass. Have you heard of Buffalo Bill?
Yeah, of course. I don't know much about him, but everyone's heard that name.
Yeah, so Buffalo Bill, actually, if you read one of our favorite books that we both enjoy is The Devil in the White City. It talks about the Chicago World's Fair.
Yeah.
So we talk about it all the time on this podcast. So they at the Chicago World Fair, they have a Wild West exhibition. He went, and he was a massive draw, and there was some controversy because he started working out just outside the fairgrounds, I think, or something like that. Anyway.
Yeah.
This doesn't have anything to do with the World's Fair, but this has to do with Buffalo Bill. So, Kickapoo Medicine Company. What now? If I say Kickapoo, what does that make you think of? Here I came from Kickapoo. The town is mine. You never watched Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny?
Yeah.
Oh God, what's the song on there? It says, anyway, Kickapoo. That's where he's from. But anyway, the Kickapoo Medicine Company is it's Indian. So their main product was Kickapoo Indian Sagwa, which is almost. They found out when they looked at the ingredients when it finally came out. There's a similar thing happened to them. They emulated it, and then in the early 1900s, after the Pure Food and Drug Act of 1906, they had to say what was in it, and it was almost identical as the Wizard Oil. That's why I bring it up on this show.
Jesus.
But instead of doing magic shows, obviously, they did Wild West shows, Cowboys and Indians.
Cool.
And Buffalo Bill Cody endorsed Indian Sagwa in a patently false claim, as they say. Kickapoo Indian Sagwa, the only remedy the Indians ever used, and has been known to them for ages. An Indian would be as soon without his horse, gun or blanket, without his sagwa. I don't know if
Did you just spit out some tobacco dip?
Is that good? Could I be in a John Wayne film? At first, the Kickapoo Indian Medicine Company praised the new law of 1906 for putting fake patent medicines, fake news on notice, baby. They were like, hell yeah. All these other idiots with these dangerous drugs in them, and they basically meant wizard oils and the snake oil. They're like, they're dangerous. The Kickapoo cough cure was great and safe, and, I sound like Trump here, and huge. But the funny part was, they themselves eventually got. And the reason why, which is hilarious to me, for a medicine named after Indians, it's kind of messed up. They put double the alcohol in it that they reported on the label. So in 1911, they got busted for misbranding because it's
oh my God,
firewater. Oh geez. But a lot of other, actually I found there was a lot of other Indian medicine shows too. The biggest ones was the Kickapoo Sagwa. Kind of badass too, man. I would love to see one of those shows. They said it was they would be firing off real guns.
Oh, cool.
Riding around, roping people.
Yeah.
They said initially it was very authentic to how Native Americans were, but as it went on and on, it became more kitschy and fake and more how are you doing? Misa Misa shoot white man, I don't know. Me a long dong running foot.
Come to my casino. Well, that was fucked up. I'm going to cut that.
You got to leave that. Bloopers. Oh, so what questions do you have about basically medicine shows, Wizard Ol', Kickapoo? Called Kickapoo, there lived a humble family, religious through and through. All right, here's our last page here. I don't know if any of you nerds out there ever played Kingdom Hearts. You got Donald Duck here as the magician or whatever, the wizard on the game. Hell yeah. Kingdom Hearts Donald Duck, the badass motherfucker. So if this episode really quacked y'all up and you wanted to support the crew, please head on over to quackerypodcast.com/join to become an official Quackhead. Make sure and hit that subscribe button. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Check out all the pictures from the show on quackpod.com. Rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. It makes a huge difference. Tell your friends, and as always, keep calm, quack on. John, now that you're married, you're allowed to take a dump with the door open.
Well, women don't poop, so only men poop.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still kind of weird about bidets, and it's funny because in that video they talk about they're like, why are you weird about someone spraying water up your ass? I'm like, meh. It was weird, man. I was like, I put one spray and I went, whoo, and I jumped. I said, man, that tickled my butthole. I don't know why I keep rubbing my hands together like I'm like, yes, wizard oil. Like, what kind of person who's on a podcast show like does things like that?
I'm gonna leave the sound of that in there.
Fucking amateur. And I'm clapping.
You were eating cereal in the last one.
Come on over there. Yeah, but that was for effect. Dr. Kellogg, man. A lot of people are listening to that.
Yeah, but you literally ate the entire bowl of cereal.
Oh, well, I'm not going to let it go soggy.
I'm messing with you.
Not gonna. No, you're not. You married now. You got all the confidence in the world. He doesn't have to worry about trying to impress girls anymore. He's just like letting a big dick swing around.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing about marriage. You don't have to worry about getting laid because you ain't gonna be. Came from Kickapoo. It's out.